So Russia now says, okay, well, I have my own ground station. If I got root on their constellation, I could just use my ground station to communicate to it and just point it directly at it. And we're going to follow this constellation around the globe.
Okay. Wow.
So it like turns into a more, almost like a more advanced, persistent threat, you know? It's
Yeah.
it's like once they're up there, it's like, okay, now it's very difficult to get them out.
Yeah. That's wild. You mentioned another thing in there that I'm curious about. And again, it seems like you've actually got the intellectual capacity to kind of understand and talk about these things, but post quantum encryption. So I'm not, so like I understand in principle what sort of quantum computing is and the opportunities provided there. Is it, are we that close to a state where like, it's going to be usable? And then what are the implications downstream? Obviously, for encryption, it's pretty significant. So, can you go into that just a little bit?
Yeah. So, post quantum encryption is built off of like what we call classical, computing, classical encryption, right? Where you're doing a key exchange and off of that key exchange, you're building that secure tunnel. Post quantum encryption or PQC is essentially, backing off of that same theory. They're trying to solve right now the reliability of long distances through various like weather and other anomalies that happen between us on the ground and the satellites in space, right? So the farthest they've gone is I think it's 1,200 kilometers above the Earth. And then they also tested it out. So they got a quantum link from one ground station to the satellite. And then as the satellite moved, it transferred that link to the other ground station without dropping connection or anything like that, which is a huge milestone. Like that was something that was thought to be just completely impossible because the equipment that is on the actual satellite that is talking to the ground station, it needs to be so precisely calculated that people just thought like, okay, like this is never going to happen because the satellite can move when it's in orbit. Like if it goes, if it's 1 centimeter off, like it's never going to hit its target, right? So, you know, China actually figured out how to do it. At least they wrote a paper about it, and there is some debates about whether it's completely 100% authentic based on what they're telling us in the paper, or maybe they actually did it and they're way ahead of everyone else. So, I've talked to experts throughout the globe at this point, a whole host of different countries and companies, and all of them give me the exact same answer when I ask them for like a timeline of when this is going to be relevant for the rest of the world, right? And they said everyone has told me for sure 100% within 10 years. A lot of them are leaning more towards 5 years if it's not already
Okay.
there and we don't know it.